Cell phones allow you to zoom in on objects, whether they are far away or they're close up. So, for example, here you're looking at a portion of a $5 bill, and on your cameras, on your cell phone cameras, there is a cell phone magnifier. You just have to look for it, and of course, you can download various different magnifiers from the app store and so forth. And you'll generally see some kind of control features and so forth over here. You can play around with those. You can basically zoom in on things and zoom out, and of course, adjust all your parameters. But the idea here is that you can see detail that you otherwise couldn't see in something just using your cell phone. So this is with no additional adapters, no additional devices hooked into your phone. So we can see that in this picture right here, we have a picture of the Lincoln Memorial there in Washington D.C. on the back of a $5 bill. We're zooming in to greater detail here, and then of course even greater detail. We can start to see the names of the various different states that were present when the Lincoln Memorial was built. And ultimately, we can see here even the name California written on there. The granite from each of the various states of the Union that were present at the time of the building of the Lincoln Memorial are incorporated into that to that monument. And so this is just all done with the app that you have on your cell phone, and just a regular magnifier app. You just have to look for it there. It also allows you to do macro features. This is just taken with a cell phone. This is just pinching in on a bee. So I just put the camera up close to this aster flower here, and then zoomed in, and you can see some of the detail on it. Now it's not super high resolution, but nonetheless you can see quite a bit of detail there. So when we're talking about a macro just means to make something that is relatively small, much larger. So macro, there's also macro lens adapters and so forth you can get for your camera. So here is the hand lens app, just again, the one that's built into an iPhone, and there's similar ones on the Android. And we're looking at the number 5 on the $5 bill. You might notice even some micro print. You can see right there. You can also see it and so forth over there. So again, print that would be far too small to be seen with the unaided eye. And so you can also put to your cell phone onto other devices like a microscope. So this is a special microscope adapter. So you can see on here, there's just a clamp you can purchase here. And that clamp is going to position the eyepiece directly over, or the lens, I should say, of the camera directly over the eyepiece of the microscope. And so the detail you're seeing on that cell phone is actually what you would be seeing if your eye was looking directly through the ocular lens on the microscope. And this is just imagery taken through with a cell phone looking onto into a microscope. So this is cytoplasmic streaming in Eladia, and then we'll see it gets a little bit higher quality and so forth over here. So let me just zoom through that. I think you can see that it'll get much higher. So what happens? Cytoplasmic streaming is basically the movement of chloroplasts around in a semicircular fashion, or actually say a circular fashion around the cell. And so right now the movie's just taking a little time to catch up here. But once that starts moving, you'll see that those chloroplasts are actually moving around the cells. And so you'll see some going clockwise and some going counterclockwise and so forth. But we're not going to wait for that right here. So, all right, so let's go on to the next one right here. So this is just a different type of adapter. You can see this is one here where you take a dedicated digital eyepiece. And so we can see that in this case here that the eyepiece here is this little portion right here, and then it's sends by a wire by a USB cable to the computer here. And so basically with QuickTime or any other type of viewing video app, then you can view it on the screen. So there's a link there to the one that I'm using there, the Amscope one so you can get some kind of an idea. Here's just a picture here taken from a cell phone, right on a regular microscope. This is a cross section of a stem, so you can see some of the xylem and other features there in the stem. And you can also, there's digital eyepieces. I have a little video and so forth on here. I'm not going to bore you with how the whole setup is. This is actually in my lab, and you can move forward this and you can see how you can connect something like the eyepiece here um, to your computer and to view things under the computer. So you can watch that video there at a separate time. Um, Here, this is an adapter that you can put on um, a digital eyepiece adapter for your phone. Again, that would connect to a microscope and so forth as well. Now, we can also view distant images. This is actually, these photos are taken at the Mount Wilson Observatory in the mountains north of Pasadena, Altadena area. It's a historic telescope, 60-inch telescope that we're viewing through. And we decided just to put our iPhone on there. And so you can see here in the next one, there's actually, this is a movie looking at the surface of the moon. So what's happening? We're just moving the actual telescope around, and unfortunately, my loading time here is just really pathetic here. So you can't really see the movie here because it's coming from YouTube. It's just for some reason slowing, but it'll give you some very very high resolution imagery that so you can view right through a telescope as well. There you go. You can see some imagery there. So we're just actually panning the telescope now, this huge telescope here, and you're seeing detail on the surface of the moon. Right, so that gives you some kind of an idea for how you might use your cell phone to magnify imagery.